Today, we're diving into the different levels of digital armor you can wrap around your data to keep it safe. Yeah, we're talking about everything from a single secret file to a massive corporate database. We're going to break down exactly how software can be your absolute best defense against prying eyes. So let's kick things off with a scenario that, let's be honest, is a total nightmare. Imagine you leave your laptop at a coffee shop, or worse, someone smashes your car window and grabs it. In that instant, every single thing on there, every document, every saved password, every personal detail is just out there, vulnerable. So, what's our first line of defense? Well, it's our main topic today, cryptography. It's really the powerful art of hiding what your data actually says. The main process here is called encryption, and all it does is take your normal, readable information, we call that plain text, and it turns it into a scrambled, unreadable mess, which is known as ciphertext. So in this explainer, we're going to journey through all the different layers of this digital armor. We'll kick off with the basics, then we'll get into securing individual files, then we'll level up to fortifying your entire computer and even guarding those massive databases. And of course, at the end, we'll talk about how you can choose the right protection for your own needs. Okay, let's dive right in. Before we go any further, let's just make sure we're all on the same page about the basic idea behind this whole digital shield concept. To put it really simply, cryptography is what makes your data look like complete gibberish to anyone who shouldn't be seeing it. So if a thief gets a hold of your encrypted files, all they're going to see is a meaningless jumble of characters. To turn that mess back into something they can actually read, they need the one thing they don't have, the key. All right, let's start at the most focused level of protection. You can think of this as a personal safe, for your most sensitive documents. We're not talking about locking down your whole system here, just the specific things that really, really matter. So when it comes to protecting individual files or folders, you've basically got two ways you can go. You can either use the tools that are already built right into your operating system, or you can go out and install specialized software from other companies. And of course, each approach has its own set of pros and cons. On one hand, you've got native features, like Microsoft's EFS or Apple's FileVault. These are woven right into the OS, so the encryption just happens automatically in the background. It's super convenient. But on the other hand, third-party software often gives you way more detailed control and more advanced options, which can give you some extra power and flexibility if you need it. And here's a great example. A tool like VeraCrypt actually lets you create something called an encrypted volume. Just think of it like a secure digital box on your computer. You can just drag and drop your sensitive files right into this box, and boom, they're instantly locked down and protected. Okay, so we've talked about the personal safe. Now let's scale up. What if you want to protect not just a few files, but literally everything on your device? We're moving beyond a personal safe now, and we're talking about building fortress walls. This next level of armor is called Full-Disk Encryption, or FDE for short. And just like the name says, it doesn't pick and choose what to protect. It encrypts the entire drive. We're talking your documents, your photos, your temporary internet files, even the operating system itself, everything. Now, this is a huge deal because FDE is basically your ultimate defense if your device gets physically stolen. With tools like Microsoft's BitLocker, a thief can't just pop the hard drive out, plug it into their own machine, and start reading your data. And they can't get around your password by trying to boot up from a different operating system either. The entire fortress is completely locked down. Now, a close cousin to FDE is something called volume level encryption. So instead of locking down the entire physical disk, this lets you encrypt a specific partition or volume. Like if you have a separate D drive on your Windows machine. This gives you a bit more flexibility if you only want to protect certain parts of your storage. All right, now let's scale up to the enterprise level. We're moving from personal computers to the massive, structured collections of data that businesses rely on every single day. We're not talking about a personal safe anymore. This is the bank vault of digital armor. When it comes to protecting their databases, organizations usually take one of two paths. They can attach an external encryption plugin to their system, or they can use something called Transparent Data Encryption, or TDE, where the encryption is built right into the database engine itself. And as you can imagine, that second one is often a lot easier to manage. And what's really amazing is how specific database encryption can get. You can encrypt the entire database file, which is kind of like FDE for a database. Or you can get way more granular. You can encrypt specific tables inside the database, or even individual columns, like say just the column with social security numbers. You can even get down to encrypting each individual row, though that takes some pretty careful planning. So, after going through all these different layers of protection, from a single file all the way up to a city-sized database, how in the world do you decide which level of digital armor is the right one for you? Well, here's the key takeaway. It's not really about which one is best. It's about picking the right tool for the job. File-level encryption, that's your personal safe for just a few important items. Full-disk encryption, that's the fortress that protects your entire device from physical threats. And database encryption, that's the high-security bank vault for organized large-scale data. And that leaves us with one final and pretty important thought. We've built some seriously impressive digital armor. But the attackers? They're constantly forging new weapons. As our data becomes one of the world's most valuable resources, this quest for stronger, smarter encryption, well, that's a battle that's never really going to be over.